Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera everyone. In this video, I will show you how to estimate the probability based on binomial distribution using Casio scientific calculator. In the United States, about 40% of adults have 4-year college degrees. Suppose 5 adults are randomly selected. What is the probability that one of the adults has a college degree? In order to estimate the probability, this is the formula that we're going to use. So the probability based on binomial distribution can be estimated where the formula states that the probability of a random variable that is equal to a particular value is equal to NCX times P superscript X times 1 minus P N minus X, for X is an integer from 0, 1, 2 until certain value. P here is referring to the probability of success, while N here refers to the number of trials. X, on the other hand, refers to the number of success. So if we're referring to the question, we know that the probability of success is 40%. Thus, P is equal to 0.4. And we also know that we have 5 trials, and we want to estimate the probability of 1 success. So X is equal to 1. In order to estimate the probability for this question using scientific calculator, here on the screen we have this scientific calculator emulator for Casio. So we simply refer to the formula in order to determine the answer, or in order to get the answer. So 5cx 0.4 superscript 1 times 1 minus 0.4 superscript 5 minus 1. So this 1 minus P is also equal to Q, the probability of failure. So 5cx, we start with that one, so press 5, press shift, press division, and press 1. Why? Because here you can see on the screen we have NCR, which is referring to the combination process, and we multiply this with the second component in our formula. So times 0.4, here you can see we have the superscript 1, and then again we multiply times 1 minus 0.4, superscript 5 minus 1. Here you can see we have the whole formula stated in our scientific calculator. So the next thing that you need to do is to press the answer to get the answer. Here we have 162 over 625, which is also equal to 0.2592. So that is how we get the probability for binomial distribution using Casio scientific calculator. Now we move to the Poisson probability distribution. Here we have an example where Anne believes that a Starbucks customer visits the shop 18 times in 30 days period. So what is the probability that a customer visits the chain 5 times in 10 days period? We know that the first thing to do is to change the expected value from 30 days period to 10 days period. In order to do that, all that we have to do is to divide 18 times in 30 days and we multiply it by 10 days to get an expected value or mu that is equal to 6 times based on the question. After that, we simply follow the Poisson probability distribution formula in order to estimate the probability for this particular question. Here we have, based on the Poisson probability distribution, the probability of a random variable that is equal to a particular value is equal to E superscript mu times mu superscript x over x factorial. E here refers to the Euler's number, while mu here is the expected value, 6 times based on the question. X, on the other hand, is the number of success that we want to estimate the probability. So based on the question, mu is equal to 6, while x is equal to 5. In order to estimate the probability using scientific calculator, first thing is to press the fraction button. And then after that, we go to the numerator at first. Here we have the Euler's superscript negative mu. In order to get the Euler's value in scientific calculator, press shift, press natural logarithm. So this is to get the Euler's number. Here we know that the Euler's has a power that is equal to negative mu. So press negative, and we also know that based on the question, our mu is equal to 6. And then times mu superscript x. Mu is equal to 6 superscript x, which is the number of success based on the question, is equal to 5. And then we move to the denominator. Here we have x factorial. X is equal to 5. In order to get the factorial, press shift, press x to the power of -1, or x superscript -1. Here we have x factorial. After that, press the equal to button in order to get the answer. Here we have 0.1606, which is identical to the answer that we get based on the question. So this Euler's number, you can find the answer by using scientific calculator, or you can also memorize it, because the Euler's number is equal to 2.71828. But of course, for simplification, you can simply use the scientific calculator as well. So that's all for the Poisson probability distribution estimation using Casio scientific calculator. We go to the hypergeometric probability distribution. Here we have an example. At the convenience store in KK, the manager randomly inspects 5 mangoes from a box containing 20 mangoes for damages due to transportation. Suppose the chosen box contains exactly 2 damaged mangoes. What is the probability that 1 out of 5 mangoes selected in the inspection is damaged? We know that based on the question, the number of population is 20 mangoes. So uppercase N is 20. We also know that based on the population, the number of damaged mangoes is 2. Thus, E is equal to 2. From this, we know that success in the probability distribution doesn't simply refer to positive situation. It can also be referring to negative situation, just like what we have in this particular question. So based on the question as well, we know that the number of trials is 5. So lowercase n is equal to 5. And the probability that we want to estimate is 1. Thus, x is equal to 1. Based on the formula, the hypergeometric probability distribution can be estimated based on this formula, where the probability of a random variable that is equal to a particular value is equal to EC, lowercase x, times n uppercase minus E, C, n lowercase minus x lowercase, divided by n uppercase, C, n lowercase. So depending on the textbook, some of the textbook use E to represent the number of success in the population. Some of the textbook use S capital or uppercase S to represent the number of success in the population. Here we use E capital or uppercase E instead. So in order to estimate the probability by using the Casio scientific calculator, first thing to do is to press the fraction button. And we go to the numerator at first. Here we have the ECX. E is referring to the number of success based on the population, while X is referring to the number of success based on the sample. So we can use the bracket if we want. So E is equal to 2, press shift, press division, and then press 1, which is the number of success based on the sample. We close the bracket, multiply it with the second component in our numerator, which is 20 minus 2, which is equal to 18. So 18, shift division again. Here we have 5 minus 1. So the number of success, the number of trials or the number of samples minus the number of success based on the sample. So 5 minus 1 is equal to 4. So we close the bracket and then we move to the denominator. Here we have 20C5. 20 is referring to the number of population, while 5 is referring to the number of trials or the number of samples that we have. So 20 shift division 5. After that, press the equal to button to get the answer. Here we have 15 over 38, which is also equal to 0.3947, identical to the answer that we get based on the question. So that is how we determine the hypergeometric probability distribution using the Casio scientific calculator.